And why I say flying tank? Because it has the capability to hit tanks from the top attack mode. Because tanks are fairly robust from the all other sides, but the top portion is weak. Similarly, why we call it as a flying tank? It also the belly of this helicopter has sufficient protection to ensure that the smaller missiles and certain weapons, which the light air defense weapons, can withstand the hit. It can withstand that hit. Another important factor is that when we were looking at, if you see the fighter aircrafts of today, they move very fast. So the close air support of infantry as well as the tanks as we go along becomes difficult and maybe perhaps very less accurate, because in an intimate battle, the enemy side and own side they get tend to merge, and that is where the precision strike of attack hapters like Apache is very important, and this can give you close support, which we are finding it difficult for the fighter aircraft to come down. So it's a step in a right direction. It's a good capacity development, good capability development, and we hope that the remaining three will also be in with the India by about end of 2025. The other
Absolutely.
important factor is we already have two squadrons. So therefore, we have trained officers, we have trained pilots who can operate it, and therefore the induction and shall I say operationalization of these aircrafts, these helicopters and air assets will not take much time. So I think it's a very good news for the defense forces as well as very good news for the country.
Absolutely, and no doubt that this will give a big boost to the Indian Army. Thank you so much, Mr. Astana, for speaking to Republic TV. Now we're shifting our focus. The Indian Air Force is all set to retire the iconic fighter jet MiG-21 after 62 years in service. The last jet will be given a ceremonial send-off on September 19th at Chandigarh Air Base. This was inducted in Air Force in 1963. The MiG-21 is celebrated for its vital role in India-Pakistan War in 1965 and 1970 war, the 1999 Kargil War as well, and 2019 Balakot strikes and Operation Sindoor. It, however, saw frequent crashes in the last few years, many accidents leading to jet controversially being labelled as flying coffin. All right, let me go across to Group Captain Uttam Kumar Devnath. Thank you so much for speaking to Republic TV. So this MiG-21 fighter jets are all set to be retired. In fact, we are learning that you survived a mid-air emergency with safe ejection in 1987. So you're the best person to give your view on the retirement of MiG-21. They are infamously called as the flying coffin as well. Your first reaction to this?
Oh, MiG-21s were actually winners of the combat, winners of the skies over India. They were inducted in 1963. More than 800 of them were inducted into Indian Air Force. Initial batches, about 200, came from Russia. They came in semi-built-up condition and were assembled in India. Subsequently, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited started assembling them from spare parts being supplied by Russia. And finally, when Russia closed down its MiG-21 production line, all the tools, testers, calibration equipment, workshops, laboratories, ground support equipment was transferred from Russia to India. And we were making almost 100% of MiG-21 in India. It had a glorious career. It was inducted post 1962 debacle with China. But in 1965 war, 1971 war, during Kargil operations, and recently during Operation Sindoor, it gave a yeoman's performance. I must remind the viewers that Wing Commander Abhinandan, now Group Captain of course, he shot down from his MiG-21 one Pakistan Air Force fighter Viman, presumably F-16. This aircraft, we hear a large number of crashes. Obviously, because this aircraft has flown in India for more than 60 years. More than 800 of them were inducted. At one time, almost half of Indian Air Force fighter strength consisted of MiG-21s. So one will hear a large number of crashes. But when we compare it with all the other aircraft, like in Indian Air Force inventory, like Mirage 2000, Jaguar, MiG-29, I started my initial flying career with NAT. I flew Hunters. I flew MiG-23. So if you take, let's say, per 10,000 number of flying, then MiG-21 crash rate was almost similar in all aircraft. Wonderful aircraft, highly maneuverable, and it was always close to heart of any fighter pilot. All young budding pilots of Indian Air Force always wished to fly a MiG-21. Yes.
Absolutely. It played a vital role during India-Pakistan war as well. But now it is all set to retire on September 19. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to Republic TV. Now, as we come to the end of this show, here are the visuals of the relics believed to be from World War II, found at the construction worker site in Manipur. A large number of water bottles, grenades, shells, spades and rusted tin cans were among the items that were recovered from this very site that you can see on the screen. The items are believed to have been left behind by the soldiers fighting the Battle of Imphal in 1944 is what we're learning. Those are the visuals on your screen of the World War II relics found in the state of Manipur. And this is all we could pack for you in this bulletin of 6 stories. At 6, we'll be back tomorrow with more such stories. Until then, keep watching Republic TV.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates: IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Sarah, this is your space, slay it your way.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Controversy over Vice President Dhankar's shocking exit. Was the government caught off guard by Dhankar's resignation? Was there a feeling in government that Vice President was overstepping? Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
Sarah, this is your space, slay it your way.
भारत की अपनी दुकान, इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना।
India's
होना।
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar. Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IAH.
मैं तनु क्या सी कि अब हमें सेकंड इनकम बिल्ड कर लेनी चाहिए और तुमने वापस म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसे डाल दिए।
ये फिक्स्ड इनकम म्यूचुअल फंड्स है।
मतलब
फिक्स्ड इनकम म्यूचुअल फंड्स मतलब चुने हुए इंटरेस्ट बेयरिंग कंपनी बॉन्ड्स, गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड्स और मनी मार्केट विच इन्वेस्टमेंट मतलब रेगुलर इनकम विच वी कैन विड्रॉ फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम।
मतलब म्यूचुअल फंड में फिक्स्ड इनकम वाली बात सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
Controversy over Vice President Dhankar's shocking exit. Was the government caught off guard by Dhankar's resignation? Was there a feeling in government that Vice President was overstepping? Debating tonight at 8 p.m. Lok Sabha adjourned within minutes for second straight day. Indi leaders create ruckus over Bihar voter list revision. Election Commission of India submits affidavit in Supreme Court. Indi disrupts Parliament. Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
As per sources, no farewell speech will be given by Jagdeep Dhankar. After tech snag hits Air India flight, Air India issues statement saying aircraft grounded till further investigation. Big jolt to Congress. ITAT rejects Congress appeal against 199 crore tax assessment.
Related to fugitives from Indian law and Indian justice in the UK. These have been a matter of discussion between both sides. The case for these fugitives to be rendered to India.
This is India's massive push for extradition of fugitives. MESA is pushing for fugitives Nirav Modi and Malia to be rendered to India.
ताकि कई लाख वोटरों का अगर नाम काट दोगे तो ये चलने वाला नहीं है। हम लोग चुप बैठने वाले नहीं हैं। ये आप वोटर का केवल अधिकार ही नहीं छीन रहे, उसका अस्तित्व मिटा रहे हैं।
Opposition MLAs hold protest in Bihar Assembly over voter list revision round. First batch of Apache attack helicopters reaches India, choppers to be deployed in Jodhpur. And Indian Air Force to retire MiG-21 fighter jets this September after over 60 years in service. Good evening. We begin with breaking news that's coming in. The judicial custody of Chaitanya Baghel, son of former Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, has now been extended till the 4th of August. The ED has said investigation revealed Chaitanya was arrested in the multi-crore liquor scam case that took place between 2019 to 22, was in receipt of proceeds of crime worth 16.70 crore rupees. Chhattisgarh Finance Minister O.P. Chaudhary commented on the arrest of Baghel's son.
आज पूरे प्रदेश के लिए, हर अंचल के लिए और अपने विधानसभा क्षेत्र रायगढ़ के लिए मैं समर्पित होकर के काम करता हूं। आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने, आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने, मेरी पार्टी ने जो दायित्व दिया, उस हर दायित्व को निभाने के लिए मैं समर्पित होकर काम करता हूं। आज यहाँ कम विकास, यहाँ ज़्यादा विकास की बात हो रही है। जिस विकास की राजनीति को कांग्रेस ने 5 सालों में ग्रहण लगा दिया था, जिस विकास की राजनीति की धज्जियाँ उड़ गई थी, आज कम विकास ज़्यादा विकास पर बहस हो रही है, चर्चा हो रही है। ये मेरे लिए सुखद विषय है, क्योंकि मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ एक ही राजनीति, विकास की राजनीति।
The other big focus today, viewers, opposition MLAs in Bihar reached the assembly wearing black dresses to protest against special intensive revision of electoral rolls in the state and created ruckus in the house over the issue. They demanded a discussion of the ongoing special intensive revision of electoral rolls. This is the big breaking story coming in, even as the Supreme Court is going to hear the matter soon. We're hearing on the 28th of July, the Election Commission of India files an affidavit defending their reasons why they want to conduct this survey. The opposition MLAs continue to say this is against the democratic values. We're seeing this ruckus in the Bihar Assembly, the protest in the Parliament as well as the Assembly. And the big breaking news coming in the ICICI Bank Videocon loan matter, the Appellate Tribunal under the Smugglers and Foreign Exchange Manipulators Act has now found former ICICI Bank CEO Chanda Kochhar guilty of accepting a 64 crore rupee bribe in return for sanctioning the 300 crore loan to the Videocon Group in 2009. This order overturns the earlier clean check she received from the PMLA authority and support the ED's provisional attachment of her assets, framing the transactions as a prima facie case of money laundering. The big breaking news coming in that Chanda Kochhar has now been found guilty of accepting the 64 crore rupee bribe. This is a significant development coming in from Chennai. The former ICICI Bank CEO guilty of accepting this bribe. The tribunal has, in its order of 3rd July, established the payment was a clear quid pro quo. According to the tribunal's findings, the 64 crore was routed through certain companies controlled by her husband. And this was, the court has said that the 64 crores represented proceeds of crime under the PMLA. Remember, she stepped down in 2018 amid growing scrutiny. She was arrested along with Dhoot. She had secured bail, but the Supreme Court continued monitoring the case. This is a big blow for Chanda Kochhar and the way she had broken the law. The Appellate Tribunal now upholds the seizure of Chanda Kochhar's assets in the Videocon loan case. It was the big headlines also now where the former CEO, Managing Director of ICICI Bank, Chanda Kochhar, is guilty of accepting 64 crore rupee bribe that was routed through her husband Deepak Kochhar from the Videocon group upholding the ED seizure of assets. This was a plain quid pro quo arrangement linked to the sanction of 300 crore rupee loan to the Videocon group during her tenure. This is a detailed order from the July 3rd. The tribunal observed the financial transaction involving Videocon's immediate transfer of 64 crore was a company. It was done for a clear corrupt practice. The order also stated that there was evidence that the ED had got of the quid pro arrangement. The tribunal came down heavily on the earlier decision of the 2020 adjudicating authority. The ED's actions were backed by the tribunal and said that we find substance in the allegations for quid pro quo involved in the sanction of 300 crore rupees loan by ICICI Bank to Videocon and the transfer of rupees 64 crore to NRPL. The tribunal also underscored Chanda Kochhar's role in approving the loan. Despite her conflict of interest, it was in violation of the bank's internal politics. I want to go across to Aditya joining us live on the story. Aditya, this is a clear case of quid pro quo and the likes of Chanda Kochhar. This is going to be going down in memory. It was a scam during the UPA era. It's going to go down in memory as having shown what quid pro quo was being exercised by the former ICICI chief and also with her husband's company.
Yes, in this case, the matter is quite clear. It's a matter of quid pro quo, where the Chanda Kochhar, using her professional character, using her professional position, actually gained some financial capital of around 64 crore for sanctioning a loan of 300 crore. Now, the order is quite clear. The order states that the earlier order which gave a clean sheet was wrong. The earlier order which issued that the attached property can be released back was flawed legally. So this order is a big setback for Chanda Kochhar. The order is quite reasonable, quite proportionate, considering that there has been a quid pro quo found in the order that a transaction there has been transaction which has a relationship of a matter of a nature that one thing happened which led to another, that is a 64 crore transaction being made in the favor of Chanda Kochhar in return of 300 crore being issued in the year 2009 by the ICICI Bank.
I'm also going to, Aditya, ask you more questions on the order because this order also underscores what the ED said. They said this bribe of 64 crore that had been taken by Chanda Kochhar is going to be seen as proceeds of crime under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act.
Yes, the 64 crore is clearly a proceeds of crime which has been gained now, which is actually penalized, which is illegal, which is under the purview of the PMLA Act and the provision. So the 64 crores which were gained as a proceeds of crime by the Chanda Kochhar is the proceeds of crime in the favor to sanction the loan of 300 crore rupees.
This is completely shocking because this is Chanda Kochhar who tried to be someone as the paragon of virtue and now she's found guilty of the 64 crore rupee bribe. The former ICICI Bank CEO found guilty of this. Aditya, give us more details of what the appellate tribunal has said. In fact, Aditya, they've also said under the Smuggler and Foreign Exchange Manipulators Act, they found her guilty of accepting this bribe in return for sanctioning the 300 crore loan to the Videocon group in 2009.
Yes, the year is quite clear, it's 2009. Now, there are few fundamental elements attached in the case. The first, the bribe. The second, the sanctioned loan amount. The third, the party who were loan issued to, the year. And the most importantly, this order criticized the earlier order which gave a clean sheet to Chanda Kochhar. Now, this order clearly states that the earlier order which gave a clean sheet releasing the property attached was actually not legally tenable. So this is a huge setback considering that this appellate tribunal order sets aside the earlier order of the court of the tribunal.
That's
plus,
right, Aditya.
which also takes into account.
All right. Thank you, Aditya, for giving us those details. This is a big blow to Chanda Kochhar and also a very watchful advice from the ED and the government. They They're watching the moves of all these people who are caught under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The other top focus, viewers, the first batch of Apache choppers had reached India after 15 months of delay. The induction of these choppers will boost combat capabilities. As India receives the tanks in the air, Army hails the milestone moment. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has described the arrival of the AH-64E Apache attack helicopters as a significant step towards strengthening India's defence capabilities.
After a delay of over 15 months, Apache attack helicopters touched down in India, marking a new era in combat readiness. Indian Army received first batch of 3 Apache AH-64E attack helicopters. The entry of Apache marks a significant step towards bolstering its combat capabilities along the western border in the wake of Operation Sindoor. One of the world's most advanced attack helicopters, these choppers are designed to deliver powerful strikes in hostile combat zones. The first batch of Apache helicopters will soon be deployed at Jodhpur. Designed and manufactured by US defense giant Boeing, India has now entered the elite club of United States, United Kingdom, Israel and Egypt. Armed with a powerful 30mm chain gun, Apache choppers feature laser and radar-guided Hellfire missiles for precision strikes. The chopper is capable of engaging multiple ground targets. It also includes features including longbow radar mounted above the rotor, allowing Apache to detect, track and prioritize threats without exposure. While India had first acquired 22 Apache helicopters under a 2015 agreement, the 6 new ones are being inducted for Indian Army's Aviation Corps. The arrival of Apache choppers have rattled Pakistan. Its induction comes weeks after Operation Sindoor and at a time when India's western frontier remains live with threats.
Our top focus today, Jagdeep Dhankar's surprising move of tendering resignation, viewers citing health concern, stirred up controversy. The reason, however, has few takers. Even the harshest of the critics in the opposition with whom Dhankar had frequent run-ins during his tenure and even moved to impeach him, said there was more to it than meets the eye. In the latest development, President Murmu accepted his resignation that there will be no farewell speech by ex-VP. Jagdeep Dhankar also sources suggest, according to as early as possible, there will be a new VP elected. Remember, the deputy chairman will chair the advisory committee meetings henceforth till the new VP is elected. And I also want to show you the parallelly the court, the reason, was it health or was it something else? They say the parallel moves were there in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha for the impeachment of Justice Yashwant Verma. That could have been possibly one reason. Dhankar has resigned as the vice president. We're also being told that this could be the parallel moves as Rajnath was collecting votes. Government was putting them together. Notice for Verma's impeachment was taken in the Rajya Sabha by Jagdeep Dhankar.
I hereby rule that RSS is an organization that has full constitutional rights to participate in the development journey of this nation. This organization bears unimpeachable credentials, comprises of people who are deeply committed to serving the nation selflessly.
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has resigned due to health reasons, effective immediately, citing Article 67A of the Constitution. This makes him the third Vice President in Indian history to resign before completing his term, with 2 years remaining. Dhankar's tenure was marked by his firm stance on constitutional propriety and national pride as Rajya Sabha chairman. He leaves behind a legacy of unwavering dedication to parliamentary dignity and defending India's sovereignty. Looking back at his tenure, our first defining moment takes us to December 2023 when TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee mimicked Dhankar during a protest outside Parliament. The Vice President's response was swift and uncompromising.
Nothing will go on record, Digvijay Singh जी. आप अनुभवी नेता हैं. आपने मेरी बात तो सुन, आप मेरी बात भी नहीं सुनना चाहते. नहीं, मेरी बात, मेरी पीड़ा नहीं सुनना चाहते. आप कहते हो 138 साल पुरानी पार्टी हो. क्या हुआ है? आपको सब पता है. आपकी चुप्पी मेरे कानों में गूंज रही है. खड़गे जी की चुप्पी मेरे कानों में गूंज रही है. वो लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन है, कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष हैं. सबको पता है क्या कुछ हो रहा है. आपको अंदाजा होना चाहिए कि यदि अगर कोई व्यक्ति वीडियोग्राफी कर आनंद लेता है, एम्पलीफाई करता है, ये संस्कार है क्या अपने? यहां तक इस तरह आ गया क्या? सर, ये है दिग्विजय सिंह जी, मेरी बात सुन लीजिए. जगदीप धनखड़ की कितनी बेइज्जती करो, मुझे कोई चिंता नहीं है. भारत के उपराष्ट्रपति की, किसान समाज की, मेरे वर्ग की मैं पूरी आहुति दे दूंगा हवन में. मैं खुद की परवाह नहीं करता. मेरी बेइज्जती कोई करता है, मैं सहन करता हूं, खून की घूंट पीता हूं, पर मैं ये बर्दाश्त कभी नहीं करूंगा कि मेरे पद की गरिमा मैं सुरक्षित नहीं रख पाया. इस सदन की गरिमा को सुरक्षित रखना मेरा काम है. इस पद की गरिमा रखना मेरा काम है. आप अंदाजा नहीं लगा सकते क्या हुआ है.
Moving to July 2025, President Trump made claims about brokering an India-Pakistan ceasefire. Dhankar delivered perhaps his most powerful statement on national sovereignty.
To make life of those better who are part of your system, but who are prepared to make supreme sacrifice for the nation, so that people like me and others can have sound sleep. And therefore, there will be challenges. Challenges will be to create divisiveness. For example, we have seen global conflagrations. Two of them in particular, you know them. These have become open-ended. Look at the devastation of property, human lives, their misery. And look at our calibration. We taught our lesson, taught it well, chose Bhavalpur and Muridge, and then brought conclusion temporarily. Operation Sindoor is not over. It continues. Some people ask a question, why was it stopped? We are a nation that believes in peace, non-violence, land of Buddha, Mahavir, Gandhi. We do not wish to kill even living beings. How can we target human beings? Idea was to generate sanity, generate a sense of humanity in the others. The lesson has been learned hard. But some of us have to understand and appreciate. Don't be guided by narratives outside. All decisions in this country, a sovereign nation, are taken by its leadership. There is no power on the planet to dictate India how to handle its affairs. We do live in a nation, and nations that are a committee. We work in togetherness, we work in tandem. We have mutual respect, diplomatic dialogues. But at the end of the day, we are sovereign.
April 2025 witnessed Dhankhar's most controversial stance when he challenged the Supreme Court's authority, declaring Parliament supreme over all institutions. Going further, he criticized the judiciary's use of Article 142, calling it a nuclear missile against democratic forces available to the judiciary 24/7. Legal experts called it unprecedented, but Dhankar remained firm. The will of elected representatives supersedes judicial interpretation.
Honorable members, Parliament is the essence of democracy. Parliament is the North Star of democracy. It is a place of discussion and deliberation to realize the aspirations and dreams of the people and not a place of disturbance. We are required to work in accordance with rules.
Finally, his exchanges with Congress MP Jairam Ramesh showcased Dhankhar's frustration with parliamentary misconduct. These weren't just personal attacks, they were institutional warnings about maintaining parliamentary decorum.
You should replace, one second Jairam Ramesh, you are so intelligent, so gifted, so talented, you should immediately come and take seat in place of Mr. Khadge. Because by and large you are doing his job. जब प्रथम पंक्ति के अंदर आप जैसा व्यक्तित्व है, 56 साल का अनुभव है, उनको भी हर कदम के ऊपर जयराम रमेश टिक्का टिप्पणी करके मदद करना चाहते हैं। अभी देखिए, एक प्रॉब्लम है जिसको आपको सोल्व करना है। आपको मैंने बहुत अनुरोध किया है।
Jagdeep Dhankar thanked President Murmu and Prime Minister Modi for the privilege and satisfaction to witness and partake in India's remarkable economic progress. He resigned due to health concerns after a tenure marked by constitutional confrontations and steadfast defense of institutional dignity. His no-nonsense approach reshaped the vice presidency and cemented a legacy of upholding parliamentary propriety without apology.
Bharat 1 Minute brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
And some news in brief now. In a big diplomatic push for the extradition of fugitives in UK, MEA said the matter has been discussed between both sides. Foreign Secretary said India continues to make the case for these fugitives to be rendered to India. The statement comes ahead of PM Modi's UK visit. And the Supreme Court has directed all hotel owners along the Kanwar Yatra route to comply with statutory licensing and registration requirements. The bench further said issue related to the issue can be taken up in the main petition which remains pending before the court. Group Captain Shukla has shared glimpses on some of the experiments carried out in space. In the picture, Shukla can be seen working in the life sciences glove box that is used for experiments that need containment due to a higher hazard level. Coming up after a short break, on This Is Exclusive Political Scoop on Dhankar's exit, we'll tell you what transpired between 7:20 p.m. and 9:20 p.m. Stay with us.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates: IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
This is your space, slay it your way.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
I hereby rule that RSS is an organization that has full constitutional rights to participate in the development journey of this nation. This organization bears unimpeachable credentials, comprises of people who are deeply committed to serving the nation selflessly.
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar has resigned due to health reasons, effective immediately, citing Article 67A of the Constitution. This makes him the third Vice President in Indian history to resign before completing his term, with 2 years remaining. Dhankhar's tenure was marked by his firm stance on constitutional propriety and national pride as Rajya Sabha chairman. He leaves behind a legacy of unwavering dedication to parliamentary dignity and defending India's sovereignty. Looking back at his tenure, our first defining moment takes us to December 2023, when TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee mimicked Dhankhar.
Big controversy over Vice President Dhankhar's shocking exit. Was the government caught off guard by Dhankhar's resignation? Was there a feeling in government that Vice President was overstepping? Debating tonight at 8 p.m. Lok Sabha adjourned within minutes for second straight day. Indie leaders create ruckus over Bihar voter list revision. Election Commission of India submits affidavit in Supreme Court. Indie disrupts Parliament. Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
Sarah, this is your space, slay it your way.
भारत की अपनी दुकान, इंडिया सोना, अपने देश का सामान, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
you for joining us on This Is Exclusive. Jagdeep Dhankar is extremely controversial, has always been controversial, whether he was the governor of West Bengal and then later as the Vice President of India. The stands he took, the comments he made have been controversial. So his exit as the Vice President of India is again extremely controversial. We have some exclusive inputs on the show about the mystery call last night between 7:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. What happened in that phone call? Who did he speak to? All about that in the next few minutes. Here are the headlines. Former ICICI Bank CEO Chanda Kochhar found guilty of accepting a 64 crore bribe in return for sanctioning a 300 crore loan to the Videocon Group in 2009. More details emerging. The tribunal has said it was a clear case of quid pro quo. The public has a big scoop on Jagdeep Dhankar exit. Exclusive details on the phone call between him and Jairam Ramesh last night. Was that the last call of Dhankar as the Vice President? Ladies and gentlemen, last evening, something happened between 7:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. Jagdeep Dhankar, who resigned as the Vice President of India last night, a little after 9 p.m., spoke to a Congress leader a little after 7:30 p.m. And that Congress leader was Jairam Ramesh. Now, there is a huge political speculation on the nature of the call and what was discussed in that call between Jagdeep Dhankar and Jairam Ramesh. Was there a phone call? Yes, there was. What time did the phone call happen between 7:30 p.m. and 8 p.m.? And there is huge speculation on what was discussed in that phone call. Now, was he taking a very pro-opposition line on impeachment? Was that call something to do with MPs, over 50 MPs meeting last night? Impeachment versus impeachment, was that another thought that came to the mind of the Treasury benches? Was there an attempt to embarrass the government on impeachment? Now, these are some questions that remain. Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, joining us on the story because we have some details about that phone call, and perhaps the government knew something. Now, we are hearing that perhaps the government knew something about Dhankar's extreme proximity to some Congress leaders in the last few days. Now, there was a phone call between 7:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. And even Jairam Ramesh, the Congress leader, has admitted to that. He has said that this was what he put out. He said the sudden resignation of the Vice President and the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha is as shocking as it is inexplicable. I was with him alongside a number of other MPs until around 5 p.m. today and had spoken to him over the phone at 7:30 p.m. So we are hearing that that phone call, which Jairam Ramesh himself said was at 7:30 p.m., continued perhaps well into 8 p.m. It was over 30 minutes duration. And this is what Jairam Ramesh said. He said, no doubt Mr. Dhankar has to give topmost priority to his health, but he claimed that there was more. Yes, there is more. Let me go across to Abhishek, who is joining me live, Abhishek Kapoor. Abhishek, now this call is under scanner, right? We know something happened perhaps. Isn't it unusual that he speaks to Jairam Ramesh for half an hour and perhaps in what could have been one of his last calls as the Vice President of India, and that was to Jairam Ramesh. Now, what are the questions that emerge, Abhishek?
Well, Niranjan, in the game of cloak and dagger that politics is, this is the most clear giveaway insofar as what was happening yesterday in Parliament that led to ultimately the resignation of Jagdeep Dhankar as Vice President of India. Remember, the story as it is emerging now is that Jagdeep Dhankar as Vice President was doing things which were not aligned with what the Modi government really wanted done insofar as impeachment of Justice Verma is concerned. So the move was to bring it in the Lok Sabha. The move was to have it, give it a bipartisan picture. The move was that the government would be seen to be leading from the front in tackling corruption, particularly in higher judiciary. And then you have parallel move being made by Vice President as chairman of Rajya Sabha to let the opposition sort of steal the limelight, let the opposition sort of take a lead. And this move of Jagdeep Dhankar, the government was not aware. The government was caught unawares, and that was really not appreciated. Now, of course, there was a backlog of Jagdeep Dhankar positions which were not liked earlier by the government. For example, the comments she had made on agriculture, in the presence of Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, the comments she had made sometimes, rubbing the government the wrong way, or even the manner in which he was taking on the judiciary again and again and again. Maybe the government did not want to really up the ante, but still carry on with the impeachment and to show that they were doing it, and they wanted it done to be in the Lok Sabha. So for Jagdeep Dhankar to have made a parallel move in direct, making a direct move along with the opposition was not appreciated. Remember, while that last phone call also is a giveaway as to why Jagdeep Dhankar did what he did, he also met Jairam Ramesh a day before, and so the government came to a conclusion that maybe Mr. Dhankar had stopped being on the side of the government on this issue, like some other issues, and that's why, he had to be told that either you resign or maybe then the MPs would come along. Remember, if you have to remove the chair of the House, you just need a simple majority of the House, and that bit was almost ready, is what we are being told by our sources, that had the Vice President not resigned from his chair, move was ready to remove him by the process or procedures that are available for the members of the Rajya Sabha, and the government would have made a move today, Jagdeep Dhankar sensing that and resigning before. But of course, the fact that he made a call to Jairam Ramesh, and Jairam Ramesh mentioned it in his posts, and that he met Jairam Ramesh a day before, clearly an indication that the Vice President, the former Vice President now, was working in tandem with the opposition. Not only that, he was keeping the government in the dark, and that was obviously crossing a certain red line for which, of course, he had to pay.
Now, Abhishek, did he exceed any brief? If he did, what was the brief he exceeded? Now, was there a thought? Of course, this matter pertained to the impeachment of Justice Verma. Was there another thought that perhaps came to the mind of some in the government on maybe impeaching Dhankar? Is there a thought? Because there is some speculation around that.
100% that would have been the case, though of course on record nobody would say that. And but what we are gathering from our sources, Niranjan, is that he was asked to really go. And if obviously had he said no, he will not go, of course, the possibility of him being removed by an impeachment motion is offset by the fact that he resigned. But obviously, had he not done that, then the next move would have been to remove him by the processes and procedures available, insofar as removing the head of the chair of the House is concerned. It never reached that stage. Remember, this comes amidst reports that the MPs in batches of 10 yesterday went in the chamber of Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and then signed those papers. Now, it was left at that. Whether those papers were to sign for the impeachment of Justice Verma or the impeachment of Jagdeep Dhankar has been left unsaid. But we get to hear from sources, given the fact that so far as the process of Justice Verma's impeachment is concerned, the motion had already been signed by 100 plus MPs in the Lok Sabha. And since the government was very clear that there is no point in moving in the Rajya Sabha at this stage, then obviously the evening process when the MPs of Rajya Sabha from the Treasury benches went in the office of Rajnath Singh and signed those papers, obviously that was essentially a preparation to get impeachment for Jagdeep Dhankar also going, just in case he does not resign. But obviously, he evaded that possibility by putting in his papers by 9:25 p.m. last evening.
Okay, the impeachment of Justice Verma seems to have been, the sticking point here. What was it that Jagdeep Dhankar perhaps was discussing with the opposition on Justice Verma that the government was not happy about?
Well, you see, the government was very clear, Niranjan, as I mentioned earlier, that any move to impeach Justice Verma, the government has to remain in control of the process, and that it has to happen via the Lok Sabha route. And that's why, remember, early part of the day, we had those pictures coming in of senior leader of the BJP, Ravi Shankar Prasad, taking a delegation to meet the Speaker Om Birla, and then submit that motion with signatures of 100 plus MPs from the Lok Sabha. And remember, in the case of Lok Sabha, the number of MPs included, those who had signed the petition or the motion to impeach Justice Verma, included opposition MPs. While in the case of Rajya Sabha, when the reports emerged that parallel process has been initiated by Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, the Treasury benches were in the dark. No MP from the government side was part of the was a signatory to the motion, and it was entirely an opposition move. That made the government think that maybe the Vice President has really switched sides, so to say, on this specific issue of impeachment of Justice Verma, and the government had to move.
Stay with me, Abhishek, because our colleague Harsha was at the Parliament today, and she tried speaking to some of the parliamentarians on what they felt about the exit of Jagdeep Dhankar, the sudden and shocking exit of Jagdeep Dhankar. Here are some of the parliamentarians who spoke exclusively to Republic on the Dhankar controversy today.
The Vice President resignation. What's your opinion on it?
I feel serious doubt about it. I have seen him on the dais and I have seen him working properly. He was in the house yesterday morning. Then he was participating. He was advising people to follow whatever instruction is given. And suddenly, all of a sudden, the resignation in which he has quoted is ill health. I don't believe. I mean, age is a factor, but then it was not that serious that he could abstain from the house and something like that. And within last 15 days, or you can see in a month, have you ever heard Honorable Dhankarji's health is not good, he has gone for checkup or nothing? He was absolutely fine.
You also it is definitely that's a more that we
because the silence of the BJP speaks a volume. That's all.
Yes, everybody was very shocked and taken aback. No one saw this coming, and I don't know what compulsions or what reasons, but I wish him all the best for good health. And that is our primary focus, as he said, that for health reasons he's resigning. I hope there is nothing that serious about it, and we wish him good health.
What does Akali Dal feel about it? Because everyone is stating that VP looked better yesterday. He convened Rajya Sabha. BSc meeting was also convened by him. Are you also of the opinion of the same what opposition party leaders are mostly stating?
I don't know what opposition parties are saying. I have not had an opportunity to meet him, so I cannot comment on it. I can just go by the letter and what is in the social media, and I can just say that we are very shocked and saddened, whatever happened, and we pray for his good health.
Jagdeep Dhankar a few days back had even indicated that he would remain the Vice President of India till his tenure ends in 2027. Here's that soundbite. So, he was clear he's going to stay, but why did he quit last night? Here's that soundbite.
I will retire at the right time. August 2027. Subject to divine intervention. I will retire at the right time. August 2027. Subject to divine intervention.
Okay, Abhishek, I'm going back to Abhishek because that call between Jairam Ramesh, in fact, tweeted Abhishek, said that I spoke to him, we all met, we all were in the same room at 5:30 p.m. and then I spoke to him again at 7:30 p.m. on the phone. So it was clear that he was obviously talking to the opposition MPs and he was meeting them. But when he met the opposition MPs in that meeting, which has been discussed at length today, they were not there. That is, the BJP MPs were not there, right? So it's obvious that the entire party perhaps was miffed with Dhankar all along. It's not only about last night, but it seems to have been something that's building up.
Yeah, absolutely, Niranjan. So, look at the irony. Just 3 sessions back, this is the same opposition that brought in an impeachment motion against Jagdeep Dhankar. They wanted him removed. This is the same opposition which 2 sessions back was holding a skit session outside the house, outside the parliament, and mocking Jagdeep Dhankar. Remember that very famous Kalyan Banerjee footage where he's mimicking rather, the then Vice President. And now the same opposition is all praise for Jagdeep Dhankar. They are calling him his guru. They are calling him a sophisticated legal mind. And I mean, much of it might be true also. But the fact of the matter is that this change of positions is essentially because Jagdeep Dhankar was engaging with the opposition in a manner that was not aligned with the priorities and objectives of the government. The classic example of which is this impeachment motion, where the government was very clear that they want to bring the process in the Lok Sabha and not in the Rajya Sabha. And yet, if Mr. Dhankar started this process, not only that, if he kept the government in the dark of the process to the extent that he accepted the motion from the opposition ranks and that no MP from the treasury benches was involved in that, insofar as the Rajya Sabha is concerned, then obviously the government really did not appreciate, not just not appreciate, it realized that this is crossing of a certain red line, which should not have happened. And that's why, as I mentioned, I get to hear from our sources that Mr. Dhankar was told in no uncertain terms that either he has to make way or the government would follow the procedure to get him removed, which obviously means that he would have been impeached. So while the story begins with the impeachment of Justice Verma, it ends with the possibility of Jagdeep Dhankar himself getting impeached had he not resigned, which obviously he did, facing the choices that he had. But the fact of him having a phone call with Jairam Ramesh is something which is a giveaway about how the forces were getting aligned as a build-up to his resignation, and in a way it's a giveaway of the realignment of Jagdeep Dhankar's position also vis-a-vis the government. The fact that last of his phone call happened to the opposition leader, in this case the chief communication, the head of communication of the Congress party, and not the government, is something which speaks volumes about the status of his relationship with the government in the last few hours of him being vice president of the country.
Okay, thank you for that. Abhishek, stay with me. In fact, here's also a video on the highlights from Jagdeep Dhankar's last day in Parliament. He was in Parliament last evening and it was business as usual, but something changed a little after 9 p.m. Here is Dhankar's last day, that is yesterday, inside Parliament.
Then the speaker, or as the case may be, the chairman may 17th August for Independence Day celebrations. A number of important legislative proposals are scheduled. Leader of the House, now sir, you have made your point, sir. Only what Leader of the House will go on record. No. Deeply engaged in political and social work in Assam, Shri Birendra Prasad Bes.
রাজ্যসভাৰ সদস্য নিৰ্বাচিত হোৱাত ঈশ্বৰৰ নামত শপত
Honorable members, the day belongs to the leader of the opposition. On behalf of this House and myself, warmest greetings and heartfelt wishes to Sri Mallikarjun Kharge, leader of the opposition in Rajya Sabha. Our 5-decade political journey powerfully demonstrates unwavering commitment to democratic values and tireless national service. Tragic and cowardly terrorist attack in Pahalgam on April 22 took innocent lives, deeply wounding our collective conscience. In response, our nation stood united, rallying behind Operation Sindoor to neutralize terrorist hideouts across the border. The resolute bravery of our armed forces, combined with the steadfast solidarity of our people, powerfully reaffirmed our unwavering commitment to protecting the unity and integrity of the Republic. Honorable members, with deep sorrow I refer to the tragic
crash of Air India Flight 171 on 12 June, claiming 240 lives. This heartbreaking tragedy has brought immense grief nationwide. While investigations continue, we mourn this profound loss. On behalf of the House, I offer heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families and to all those affected by this tragedy. Honorable members, this session comprising 21 sittings includes a recess. I have received a notice of motion under Rule 167 from Sri Samik Bhattacharya to discuss Operation Sindoor, a landmark in military brilliance and diplomatic outreach, which I have admitted for discussion as no day yet named motion. The date and time for discussion would be decided after consultation with the Leader of the House and other leaders. I need to inform you that I have received notice of motion under Article 217, 1B, read with Article 218 and Article 124, Sub-Article 4 of the Constitution of India, along with Section 31B of the Judges Enquiry Act 1968, to constitute a statutory committee for removal of Justice Yashwant Verma, Judge of the High Court of Judicature at Rajasthan, at Allahabad. This has been received by me today. It is signed by more than 50 members of the Council of States, and thus it meets the numerical requirement of signing by members of Parliament for setting in motion a process for removal of a High Court judge.
Big debate coming up at 8 p.m. tonight with Arnab, where he will be looking at the Jagdeep Dhankar exit controversy as well. Trending next with Rakshita. Stay tuned.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
Hi, this is Chef Ranveer Brar. Guarantee you brilliance on behalf of IAH.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
I hereby rule that RSS is an organization that has full constitutional rights to participate in the development journey of this nation. This organization bears unimpeachable credentials, comprises of people who are deeply committed to serving the nation selflessly.
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has resigned due to health reasons, effective immediately, citing Article 67A of the Constitution. This makes him the third Vice President in Indian history to resign before completing his term, with 2 years remaining. Dhankar's tenure was marked by his firm stance on constitutional propriety and national pride as Rajya Sabha chairman. He leaves behind a legacy of unwavering dedication to parliamentary dignity and defending India's sovereignty. Looking back at his tenure, our first defining moment takes us to December 2023, when TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee mimicked Dhankar during a protest outside Parliament. The Vice President's response was swift and uncompromising.
Nothing will go on record, Digvijay Singh ji. आप अनुभवी नेता हैं. आपने लंबे मेरी बात तो सुन, आप मेरी बात भी नहीं सुनना चाहते. नहीं, मेरी बात, मेरी पीड़ा नहीं सुनना चाहते.
I'm excited to be a part of the Republic AI Pre-Summit on July 25th, where we will be discussing the India's AI leap, the innovations, the impact, and the future of AI in shaping a new India.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ. डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा. अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ. सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates. IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
MDH की देगी मीरज,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का.
MDH की देगी मीरज.
Sarah, this is your space, slay it your way.
भारत की अपनी दुकान, इंडिया सोना. अपने देश का सामान, इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना.
इंडिया सोना. अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने.
your smartphones to the smart televisions, the trending stories are breaking the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, after a long wait of 15 months, the formidable Apache helicopters, the tanks in the air have finally arrived in India. We'll get you all that you need to know about it. We're also tracking the story of the ISRO-NASA joint mission. The NISAR is one of the most expensive satellite viewers and the biggest collaboration. On the other side of the world, it's a Junior Biden who had a complete meltdown when asked about Donald Trump. There is more to the story than what meets the eye, viewers. And of course, viewers, we are going to get you after flight in Indian skies for 62 years. Indian Air Force's old war horse, MiG-21, is all set to now bid farewell. Not just this, a White House post has gone viral that labels Trump as a hunter. Needless to say, the internet is in absolute splits. Back at home in India, the fighter jet F-35B, who had in fact overstayed here in Kerala, has finally bid adieu to India. It has left for Australia now. Last but not the least, World War II relics were discovered in Manipur. We'll get you all that and more. This is Trending. I am Rakshita Mishra. Viewers, after a delay of over 15 months, the Apache attack helicopters touched down in India, marking a new era in combat readiness. One of the world's most advanced attack helicopters. These choppers are designed to deliver powerful strikes in hostile combat zones. That's a breathtaking view of that deadly helicopter. The Apache is equipped with a powerful 30mm M230 chain gun, laser-guided Hellfire missiles, and Hydra 70 rockets for precision strikes. The longbow radar mounted above the rotor allows the Apache to detect, to track, and prioritize the threats without exposure. The chopper can engage multiple ground targets simultaneously, making it a formidable asset on the battlefield. Apache features armored crew compartments, crash-resistant fuel systems, and hardened rotors, ensuring it can withstand damage and complete mission. Meanwhile, viewers, there's good news coming in. India is steadily advancing its space gears. The Indian Space Research Organization and United States NASA are all set to collaborate to launch the synthetic, that is the NASA-ISRO synthetic aperture radar, or the NISAR mission. Now, the countdown has begun. The launch has been scheduled for the 30th of July from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, and it's said to be the most expensive US and India space partnership. Now, it's a powerful radar satellite that will scan the Earth's surface, creating detailed 3D maps of our planet. By using advanced radar technology, NISAR will be able to capture images of Earth's surface day and night, regardless of weather conditions. It will also monitor the Earth's surface for signs of deformation, helping scientists track earthquakes and volcanic activity. NISAR will provide scientists with real-time data, enabling them to respond quickly to natural disasters and monitor climate change. In fact, viewers, now we have a former ISRO director, former ISRO Deputy Director Venkateshwar Sharma joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Sharma, thank you so much for joining us on Public TV. And this is, of course, a major boost. It's touted as the most expensive satellite, and more than 700 crores have been invested in here by ISRO. So what is the significance of it? What is the importance of this satellite, sir?
Good evening to you, and good evening to million Republic viewers as usual. Of course, it is one of the finest satellites that the world is going to see, civilian satellite from the point of view of the synthetic aperture radar. Look, this is a most complex satellite which was conceptualized during 2007 by the international science team, which envisaged a requirement of such a satellite with L-band and S-band SAR associated, and NASA came out with the proposal for making the satellite. But and they were looking for a partner who is equally strong and equally powerful in terms of technical, technology, commercial, etc. And during 2011, 2012. The contract was signed between NASA and ISRO for making the satellite. Okay, this is an $1.5 billion approximately satellite, and one of the heaviest satellite of this class. And this is the only satellite which is having the capability of S-band as a L-band, and with a very high resolution with the 2D solid Earth displacement mapping, 2D ice sheet and glacier display mapping. I see ice velocity mapping, biomass, displacement, and propellant integration area mapping, etc. is something which this satellite is very unique in its capability. And also this has very specific, ISRO-specific focus area applications such as ecosystem, monitoring of agricultural crops and crop biomass, soil moisture, forest inventory, biomass change, and carbon sequestration, and solid earth risk assessment and management through monitoring seismic and post-seismic activity, etc. Cryosphere, monitoring of dynamics of the polar ice sheet, etc. So that how the ice sheet, etc. is going to melt. And oceanography, retrieval of ocean physical parameters, and coastal process monitoring, and also disaster response, extremely important disaster response. Whenever there is a change in weather, whenever there is a change in atmosphere, etc., these satellites are going to give very precise information. Please look at the specification of the satellite. This satellite has capability of revisiting the Earth every 12 days, and it has very high resolution data capability. It's going to generate trillions of petas, bytes of data for the science and scientific application. Is one of the most advanced and most crucial and the one of type of interaction and interface between the two countries, America and India, and NASA and ISRO. This is where we stand. And the satellite is made by us, and the payload is given by NASA, and S-band payload is also done by ISRO. And the launch is by our own GSLV, the proven GSLV vehicle. Therefore, we have from ISRO and India, we have the substantial share in development and launching of this NISR satellite. Over to you.
Absolutely. It's going to be a milestone indeed. Thanks so much, Mr. Sharma, for joining us on Public TV with your views on that. Viewers, and shift our focus to another trending story. In a dramatic turn of events, former US President son Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, slammed actor George Clooney for his 2024 op-ed in the New York Times, calling to change their presidential nominee for the 2024 US elections. He has taken aim at George Clooney, who was in fact earlier campaigning for the Democrats. And then, of course, there was a complete meltdown as far as that Hunter Biden is concerned. After slamming Clooney, Hunter also targeted Washington, and this time it's none other than, of course, President Trump, with Biden Jr. calling him the dictator thug. He criticized Trump's immigrant policies, saying that